Okay, I'm trying again. Okay, Courtney, try again. Okay. Sorry. Okay, let's hope this is going to work. Okay, she says, I think you can add me. Excuse my fingers, guys. Invite friends to watch. Nope, I don't want to invite. Okay. I had done that, Courtney, but guest request. Nope. Share broadcast. Nope. I know, May, you can only see me because we're having issues with Courtney getting on. And she's sending me something, but it's teeny tiny, and I'm trying. I'm very sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, click on that. It says viewers. Okay, what does this say? Okay. Okay, Courtney, I did invite you. This was not this hard the other day. That my finger keeps getting in the way because, oh, sorry. It says there's 2 people watching. Okay. Still says 2 people. And I had seen originally that I could invite someone, but it's not letting me invite anyone now. No, that says live and mask. Okay, Courtney, you still don't see the little green thing. Says I only... Okay. I am so sorry, guys. This is not working the way it's supposed to. Oh, Courtney Tavenner wants to be in my video. Okay, approve. This is going to finally work. Sorry.
Just set it on the bill.
Oh, wow. Hello, guys.
Sorry, that was so much harder than it should have been.
Yes, that is very true. So, nice to see you both.
Yeah.
And before we really start with this video, I'm just going to say, Dirk, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Courtney, nice to see you. It's been a very long time.
I know, it's been forever. Especially I moved away, but even before that I wasn't running barrels there. So it's nice to see you.
Yes. You too. Okay, so we haven't really had any questions, so I am just going to let you guys take it over and explain everything about you guys. Okay, how's that sound?
Okay. Where should we start? How we met, I guess. We actually were set up by a mutual friend. He went to college with her, and I just knew her from before. So shout out to Ronnie for introducing us. But it kind of was like a divine plan, I guess, because he didn't have social media or anything. So there would have been no way for me to actually have ever met him. So she gave him my phone number, and the rest was history on that. But the funny thing is, I actually high school rodeoed with his cousin. So his cousin is Hannah Vaughn, well, the Vaughns, from Nevada. So that was kind of interesting that we knew that. But we were long distance forever, it seemed like. We got together in 2013 is when we started dating, and then got engaged in 2017, and then married in 19. And I didn't move up here until 20. Yeah, so I didn't live up here till 20. So we had been long distance the entire time, basically. So.
So even after you got married, you didn't move up there?
No. So we got engaged in 17, and I knew I wanted a long engagement to be able to plan everything the way I wanted. And then I had gone back to school to become a teacher. So I still was going to UNLV. And so we got married in October of 19, and I graduated from UNLV with my teaching degree in December of 2019. So then I came up in January and happened to go to a job fair and got a job. And then we started looking for a place, and then I moved up here summer of 2020.
Very nice. So,
yeah.
Dirk, while you were waiting for her to move up and everything, what were you doing?
I've rodeoed full time since the spring of 14. So mainly going to winter rodeos and summer rodeos, and we usually go about 60, 70,000 miles a year. So just rodeoing was gone a lot, and so that's kind of what made her not moving up till the summer of 20. As I was in the winter of 20, I was in Texas. Most of the winter rodeos are in Texas. There's a couple in Mississippi. There's a couple in Arizona, but mainly in Texas, going to San Antonio, Fort Worth, and Houston. So, yep.
Okay, very good. So what are some of the challenges that you guys have faced? I mean, a lot with you rodeoing, everything, things that you think people don't know that probably should.
I mean, rodeo is a up and down game. It's you go from here to zero in one day to the next. There's a lot of all night drives. There's a lot of fast food. It's not very glamorous a lot of times. I think my wife, she went with us for about 10, 12 days, and it wasn't like the storybooks tell. I guess there's a lot of traveling. Like I said, you drive all night to get somewhere, and you're up in slack at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you haven't got any sleep. And then when you do have some spare time, it seems like all you want to do is sleep. So I don't think people realize that. I don't think people realize, like, when you're winter rodeoing, especially me being from Idaho and my wife live in Idaho, we maybe see each other once a month, maybe twice, especially in February. February is pretty busy. So with your birthdays over Valentine's Day, so sometimes that can be a little tough because, San Antonio is usually on during then, and that's a very big rodeo for the PRCA. So, yeah, the winters kind of get a little tough. The once a month really either makes or breaks a relationship, I guess. So it's been good.
Yeah, and I would say
Okay.
I have people message me all the time. Well, not all the time, but all people message me like, "Oh, that's so cool that he rodeos and that you get to live that lifestyle and everything." And I'd say yes, it is. I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything. But being a spouse, not saying it's anywhere close to his stress level, but I'm home alone a lot, and so I'm trying to work full time, keep a house, like support him, so be on the phone and be supportive that way. And so it's stressful. It's not his stressful, but it's a different kind of stressful. And you're lonely all the time. Like you said, there'd be stretches where I only see him once a month. And when it's winter up here and you're just you're just alone, it feels like. But the highs are worth it. So going to some of those rodeos and getting to see him live out his dream and all of that is worth it. But I think people look at it as, oh, you get to be at Rodeo Houston, or you get to go to Cheyenne, or all these things. And yeah, those are fun, but there's, I don't know, 85 other rodeos that he goes to a year. And so it's not all glamorous, that's for sure.
Okay. May just asked, do you get to go with him sometimes with your schedule? I know you already said that you did go to some of the rodeos, but with your teaching schedule, that's got to make it tough too.
Yeah. So the only good thing about teaching last year was I had the summer off. So that was kind of nice. But no, I don't get to go as much as someone might think, only because their schedule is so busy. And being a steer wrestler, they usually travel in groups of them. So he traveled with 2 people this year, Bubba and Peyton. And so it's just full, and it's, not saying that they don't all love me, but it's not like a situation where I would just go and ride along. It's busy. It's not like him and I would get quality time. He'd be driving or sleeping or competing. Before I moved up here, I would go to like Rodeo Houston and some of the big ones that he's at for a couple days, because we get to have, a date there and, hang out and experience it together. But other than that, no, not really. Not saying that I wouldn't want to, but again, going back to it's not glamorous. It's not a like, oh, cute, we're sitting in the truck together experience. So not as much as people probably would think now.
Okay. So I know Dirk has his horses, and I'm kind of assuming you do too. So tell all of us about all of your horses.
So I'll go first because I only have, I guess I have 3 now. I have one horse that I got, was kind of a reject from someone, and she just is our pasture ornament, basically. And then I actually bought a horse from Sherry there in Vegas, and I love him. He's the best. And I ran barrels on him a little bit up here, and just with my schedule, and I wasn't super dedicated with it, I wasn't using him a ton. So Dirk is actually hazed off of him now. So he's kind of a practice horse. And then I also use him as a ranch horse when we have to go up to his dad's ranch. And then I was surprised with too many ponies over the summer. And so I have those 2 as well.
I think I have right now 6, maybe 7. I've been pretty blessed with horsepower. I've made all of my horses except for the little horse. He was kind of already a belong horse, but he had some issues in the box, so I was able to buy him, and he's been a blessing to our household. He's quite the character. And then I have my old gray mare that I had in college. I roped calves on her. Now she's a hazing horse, and she's been great. She's hazed for multiple championships and a gold buckle, and she's just been awesome. And then the other older horse I have would be a sorrel mare. That's a great practice horse, maybe not quite good enough for the rodeos, but you can do anything on her. I picked up a bunch in college on her, team roped on her, head, heel. I actually kind of gave her to Courtney, but Courtney hasn't been roping, so I kind of took her back. And right now my dad's been using her to get cows off the mountain with. And then I have the older belong horse that was a reject barrel horse, and he's been a blessing to the family. And then another reject barrel horse that's the black Hazen horse that came from Likely's, and he's been great. Obviously, he's really made it easier for me to be successful. And like I said, the other. Oh, and then I guess I bought one this spring. That was a reject barrel horse. I think I have a thing for those. Give him a second life. And he's just kind of learning things. He was kind of spoiled and a little ornery, and so I've been cowboying on him and just kind of getting his mindset. And I guess yesterday I hazed some of the first steers on him, and he did great. So if we can keep that going, I think he'd be a great horse. But we're very, very early into that game, so we'll see.
Okay, I see another question. When you're traveling in groups to rodeos, do you guys share horses?
A lot of times in the bulldogging we do. Like Bubba, he rode one of my horse. We take one Hazen horse usually, and I've been pretty successful at that. So it's usually one of mine. And then depending, like I said, depending on who's rodeoing with who, a lot of bulldoggers all ride one bulldogging horse. But in our buddy group, Hayden had his own horse that he bought this year. And it was great. It makes it pretty convenient when over like 4th of July we'll have we had 3 horses in 3 different spots, and kind of flew around, and so that thing sure helps. But most bulldoggers, I guess, kind of all ride one. So yeah.
Okay, now when you go to NFR in December, are you going to be on your own horse?
Yep. I'm gonna try the little horse. This is kind of his first year rodeoing, but he's obviously excelled at that, so we're gonna try him. If not, I'm almost guaranteed my old horse will work. Both my horses love to go fast. The start at the finals is extremely fast, so you just kind of need something that's gonna go. I mean, you're pretty much going with your nod. As easy as that sounds, it's also hard because if you miss the barrier at the finals, it's so unforgiving. You're liable to miss steers, or it just changes from an easy situation to maybe some of the hardest in the world. And I don't think people realize how critical the start is of the finals, watching it, because it, like I said, it can change everything, especially if the steers are run nowadays. They are smaller, they are more athletic, and they dang sure run. So that can dang sure be a game changer to getting a good start.
Okay, is there anything else you think people should know? Either one of you.
Rodeo's been a blessing to my family. I guess the one thing it's tough. I guess it'd be kind of like doing drugs. I mean, it's really good, really bad at the same time. And then the whole strain on the relationship is huge. I don't think people realize it's trying to figure out what issues your wife has at work, and then balance them with you not winning, or you trying to keep your own mindset. And so I think rodeo is a lot more of a mind game than people realize, especially for relationships and especially for winning. I mean, you can have all the talent in the world, but it comes down to the mind game. I think people don't realize that. I think people think it's easy, and it's not. It's dang sure got to have some luck. Dang sure have to have some opportunities go your way and capitalize them. So yeah, I guess that'd be the main things. And I guess rodeo is one of those things people have been successful without maybe the dedication level, but it's huge on dedication and sacrifice. It's hard to work a job and rodeo because something's got to be sacrificed. We spend $25,000 in entry fees a year. I don't think people realize that. We spend another $10,000 in fuel. I don't think people realize that. It looks good on TV. It looks like we're making a ton of money, but until you make the finals, it's not a great thing. So I think those are some of the things that I would say people need to understand.
Okay. Another couple of questions. How many sponsors do you have, and how did you find your sponsors?
I guess our first sponsor we kind of fell into. We were blessed. It was Flyer. It's through Stevie Hillman. I had my gray mare that I haze on was bleeding, and she told me about the product. And Hannah was kind enough to send us some, and we loved it. And so that was kind of our first sponsor. Our second sponsor is Project Filter. My wife really worked for that. It's how Idaho fights tobacco. So that one's a great sponsor for us. It's a money sponsor. It's a dang sure blessing. And then recently, since we made the finals, we've gotten on with Purina. And they always love the grain, so that's awesome sponsorship. And then Cinch. So it's been pretty exciting lately.
Well, and I'll answer kind of the second question you asked. just because I enjoy it. I do a lot of like I made his sponsor packet, and I run social media campaigns and stuff for him. And I would say, because I'm assuming the person maybe wants to look for some sponsors, I would say the first thing is to for sure have a packet ready, kind of explaining who you are as a person and then who you are as an athlete. And kind of that's how you sell it to businesses, because especially in his position where he's on like Cowboy Channel and things like that, it really is a business opportunity for them. So I say presenting it to them in that way of, hey, this is the exposure you get, but having that packet ready, kind of listing examples of accomplishments you've had, kind of what you bring to the table, and never frame it in a way of you're asking for money, even though, you know, for some people that is what you need. You need money to be able to go down the road, but framing it in a way, because it truly is a business opportunity. But I'd say starting with the packet and then making sure your social media is engaging and consistent. And that thing is definitely how you go after the sponsors.
Yeah, and look at your sponsor, what you can do for them. I think a lot of people are like, oh, what can you do for me? And that's maybe the wrong mindset. And you got to go after them. I will say that. It's not, very rarely do they come to you. Maybe, you know, Karina did come to me, but we kind of set the foundation for that. At certain levels, they will come after you, but there's enough people that rodeo. There's enough, I mean, social media, you need to go after them and be willing for them to say no. I mean, that's been hard for us at times, but another thing I would say, kind of maybe don't hold yourself short either. I think it's easy to get hooked on, oh, well, they give me, you know, $500 worth of stuff. Yeah, that's good, but you're almost selling yourself short in the long run, because for what you're doing for them isn't quite, you know, you're not getting the reward you should. So dang sure, keep in mind what your value is as well.
Okay. I was also asked, what's your brands and how do you choose? I kind of think you answered that. I think she maybe lost connection for a little while or joined late. I know you said Purina, you use it. So if you want to
Yeah, I love
elaborate on.
Purina. You know, I have the old horse, the big horse. He's have some stomach issues. I love Purina. I know everybody loves, you know, has their choices. I love Purina's strategy. Healthy Edge is more of a fatty grain instead of a sugar grain. My horses are Expo horses, so they do not need extra sugar. Sugar kind of gets in their way of focus. So I feel like if a horse is home and on good alfalfa, which we're blessed with in Idaho and some places, they don't need a lot of grain. But dang sure rodeo and the toll it takes on them. I really love their gastro support. It's supposed to help with ulcers. It's the one thing I'll say about Purina is all their products have done studies on. I can't say that about others, but you can find all the research Purina's done on theirs. You can see all the different studies. That's hard to say about other brands. So it's more than just, you know, what sells to them. It's what works, and that's a cool product to have. I love classic equine boots. I've just something I'm drawn toward. I like the longevity of them. I've tried a lot of other ones. You know, Cinch is one of those things that I just love what they can do for my family as well. It's a great sponsorship, and I love their clothes. I don't really have any sure sponsors on tack or anything. I like handmade stuff, so I have a lot of handmade saddles instead of factory built saddles. I love that. So yeah, those are kind of the things that I choose.
Okay. Do you ever have a downtime? I know the next year's season's pretty much already started. So do you ever have a downtime?
You know, so what's the downtime for us? Usually, you're tired from rodeo, so October 1st is it usually a downtime. I usually go try to get back in the practice pen. I love training horses, so I try to do that. It gives me enjoyment. So I usually try to do that in October. Our circuit finals are the 1st of November. I guess if I'm not helping people at the NFR or myself making it, Then I guess your downtime would be November, December. But January, Denver starts up. So guys, is January, February, March, April. You're in California. I guess May would kind of be a downtime. You might have 3 weeks in May, maybe a week in June, depending on what rodeos you're wanting to go to. And then after that, I will say from the second week in June till September is pretty hardcore. 4 or 5 rodeos a week. You might have a week where there's 3, but there's usually 4 or 5. They're usually all-night drives, or I mean, from St. Paul, Oregon to Prescott, Arizona in 2 days. Like, there's just a lot of driving and just a lot of traveling.
Sounds it. So if you go to a rodeo that has a short go and you qualify for the short go, but you're up somewhere else, how do you manage that?
So a lot of rodeos, depending on when the short go is, you can get rolled. PRC has a great, if you're in the short go at, let's say, trying to think something has a short, Reno, Nevada, and you're up at Cody, Wyoming, and there's a perf after that, they will roll you. If not, kind of get drawed out. You can draw yourself out of the rodeo, which, I mean, heck, you're in a short go. You only got to beat 11 other guys, probably going to win a check. You're going to take those odds. So that's about all you can do. Most times I'll enter over a short go. I mean, yeah, you want to plan on a short go, but you also kick yourself in the butt if you missed out on going to another rodeo planning on the short go, and let's say you break barrier, so then you got a day off. So it's all about filling days, and when you're kind of on a roll, being in some rodeos, so then you can be winning.
Well, and I think that that's something people, going back to what people don't understand about rodeo is, and he's good at it, but so many people don't understand he has to go to so many rodeos chasing the money, but then they're only allowed to official so many rodeos. And then like everything that goes into that, and you're trying to plan, how can I drive from here and get to here in time, and make all of these rodeos that are on the same weekend work at the same time. So I think that's something people don't understand. It's not like they get handed a schedule that says, hey, this is where you go. They have to call in and enter, and the PRCA, not saying that they don't care, but they don't care if you enter the rodeo or not. So it's up to you to figure out how are you going to get logistically from place to place, and then hope that that is the schedule that ends up working out once they do the draw for it. So I think people don't understand the stress level of not only competing there, but then making sure you get to all the good rodeos. Because like I said, no one figures it out for you. You have to figure it out on your own.
Well, and on top of that, we enter the big rodeos 3 weeks in advance. And so you try, I guess people understand, is the entering system. The PRC doesn't guarantee it. They won't make you up. Heck, you could have 3 rodeos in one day, and that's just how it goes. Sometimes you got to get trades. But I think that's one thing a lot of young people don't realize is how to enter and figure out how to enter where you're not fighting the numbers, because you might want to enter a rodeo and there might be 40 people asking for what you're asking for, and the odds of you getting that are slim. So it's kind of figuring out when do you kind of ask for it all and when to just kind of ease around and make sure you get your rodeo. So that's definitely a good point.
Okay, is the PRCA still all enter by phone, or do they have it online yet?
This year, I think start of last year, they started an online system. I was old school. I used to call Procom every day and just figure out what's open, and hated the online system. But now everything's mainly online, and it's awesome because it can be 1 o'clock at night and you can enter on your phone. So that dang sure's helped. You get trade lists right on your phone now. It's really cool. So yeah, the last couple years, there's a certain rodeos, I think like the finals have to enter online. Some bigger rodeos you have to enter on, or excuse me, at finals you have to call in. Some bigger rodeos you have to call in and talk to a representative. But for the most part, majority of the rodeos are on their website. So that's cool. That's dang sure made it more user friendly. I mean, I don't know how many times you would lose service and you're trying in a rodeo at 10:55 and it closes at 11. You don't have service. So yeah, dang sure makes it easier. You can enter in the middle of the night. It's always open. So that's a cool thing they got going.
Very good. So I'm going to ask you to this because Courtney, I know you're from Vegas, but what is your plan? I know you have a ton of interviews. Everything happens when you get to Vegas. When are you planning on getting there? And kind of what's your plan? You keeping your horses there? Are you staying close, staying with family?
So the event you qualify and usually gives you, or they have a host casino, and so ours, the Bulldoggers at the Mirage, so I'll stay there. I'm gonna take 4 horses down, but you can't keep all 4 horses at the Thomas and Mack, which I probably wouldn't want to. I'm gonna keep 2 at Sherry's, just in case something happens. I mean, like last year, my good Hazen horse got pneumonia, and then I had to use the gray mare again, so that was a blessing not to be without. So yeah, we'll keep the horses at 2 horses at the Thomas and Mack and 2 horses at Sherry's, which is kind of North Vegas. So it would be nice, but it's a lot of work to go from the Thomas and Mack to North Vegas back to the Mirage every day. So at night, fighting traffic. So we're just going to keep 2 at the Thomas and Mack. I think we're going to get there probably the 29th. We have dinner with Farina, so that's cool. I think we have to be checked in maybe by the 1st. I guess we have to be checked in by Wednesday. And we'll have to go to, they have a grand entry. You got to get practice, I guess. It still looks crazy, but grand entry practice, and then the back number that night. So, yeah, we'll be there the 29th.
Very nice.
And the schedule.
So do you have to go ahead, Courtney?
No, I know we're on a little of a delay. I was just going to say the schedule there is pretty crazy because I was able to go with him in 2019 when he hazed for Stetson there in Vegas. And I wasn't teaching or anything then, so I was able to take the time off no problem. And I was exhausted by the end of it just because you have horses at the Thomas and Mack. You're going, like he'll get up every morning, go feed, get them out of their pen since those are such small box stalls, walk them around, put them up, then go do whatever he needs to do signing wise or interview wise, and then go back in the afternoon, get them out again, walk them around so they don't get stocked up. And then you're there early, especially since they moved the rodeo up this year. But you're there early getting them ready and everything to go. And then the Mirage has the Bulldoggers come down to like an after party type thing that they have. So we'll be at that after the rodeo, and then hopefully the South Point a couple times. And then go to bed and get up and do it again the next day. So I know I was exhausted and I didn't do anything when he was just a hazer there, let alone this time. I can't imagine kind of the busy schedule.
There's a lot of stress too that people don't realize. I mean, you want to be successful, you want to win, so that wears on you. So yeah, like Courtney said, I try to get up every day at 6, go get horses out. The Mirage does have, it's not just for the bloggers, it's for all the events that are on the Mirage team, but they give it, Casey Jones usually gives a trailer away, so everybody has to be there till midnight. So you're there till midnight, making sure you check in, and then you're up by 6. It just makes for a long week, and then obviously there's alcohol involved, so I mean a lot of sleepless nights and then smoke. It's fun, but by round 6 or 7 you're kind of over it and you're still not done.
Okay, so by what Courtney just said, and I kind of already knew, but I don't think everyone did, you have actually not qualified for the NFR before this year, but you have been in the environment of it, correct?
Yeah, I think I've hazed, I think 5, and I think since 16 maybe. So yeah, I've hazed there 4 or 5 different times. 4 times, I'm pretty sure it's 5. 4 times in the Thomas and Mack. So yeah, and last year I hazed in Arlington. That was kind of a cool experience. But yeah, hazing I hope gives you. I mean, it's not a wow factor anymore. So that'll be nice. And if someone asked the difference between Arlington and Thomas and Mack, yeah, Arlington was cool. Don't get me wrong, it was a little more laid back, but the Thomas and Mack, you can cut the tension with the knife. It's just you're right on top. It's loud. It's very energetic. It's a cool environment to be able to compete in.
Okay, so let me ask this: as far as okay, you were a hazer, so I'm guessing you didn't have to be to all the presentations and interviews and stuff. So that'll be a little different for you too.
Oh yeah, I mean you're kind of in the limelight a lot more as a competitor there, so that will be different. It'll be kind of a new experience to have to give interviews all the time and, like I said, sign autographs, which there's some rodeos like Houston, we sign autographs every day, so that's kind of not a huge deal, but it's just kind of have to get used to all the hustle and bustle, I guess, of it. So.
Okay, and Courtney, you're working now, so were you able to get time off to go with him?
I was, yes, thankfully. I have a wonderful principal for a boss, and then a really good district that just understands family comes first. And luckily, I'd saved up days from last year because last year was heartbreaking where he finished 16th. So I was kind of saving days last year too and just carried them over to this year. And then I'm still in the process, but I have to kind of write a letter to the superintendent and explain what's going on. But my principal did guarantee I get the time off. So like he said, we'll come down that Monday or so before. And then I'm very fortunate to be able to stay the entire, what ends up being for him like 14, 15 days, but I get to see all 10 rounds. So I'm very thankful that I get to see that.
Very good. And Dirk, what position did you end up in?
I ended up 10th, so it was good. I wasn't even close to the bottom. I mean, we still didn't sleep till the last week probably. But yeah, I was able to come in 10th, and so not going to be first out, so that's nice. So I don't think I'll ever be first out because they roll down, I think 3 every time. So yeah, that'll be nice not having to be in that position.
Very good. And I'm just curious, for the Grand Entry, do you ride any of your own horses in the Grand Entry?
Probably not. I'm gonna try to ride one of the pickup mans. I don't want to get the Hazen horses wound up. I guess I could use the gray mare, but she'll be in North Vegas, so no, I probably won't. I'll probably try to ride. They provide some horses. Not being rude, most of them are a little wild, very spoiled. So I have some good pickup friend guys, and so hopefully I can bum one of their horses so I'm on something fairly broke, because it does. I've seen people break noses. I've seen people get bucked off. I've seen it all. So definitely want to be on something that's at least child broke for me.
Okay, so it gives all new meaning to getting Western sometimes in those Grand Entries.
Yeah. I think if a guy could sneak the horse they're on a little ace before, it'd probably be a great thing. Yeah, because they start figuring it out by round 3 or 4, because they want you running out. By the end, they turn the corner and they're hustling and bustling, and I hope they don't. No one makes a mistake in front of you, you're gonna run them over. So it's dang sure. It's a little dumb at times. I mean, I know it's great for the crowd, but as a contestant, I mean, that's like Luke Branquino, like would say, that was like the scariest part of Vegas was the Grand Entry. So dang sure interesting. Not being mean, you have a lot of rough stock guys that don't ride saddle horses on a daily basis in front of you, and they're trying not to fall off, and the horses. It's just, like I said, it's very interesting to watch. I don't think they usually show it on TV, but for those that are there watching, there's dang sure some interesting wrecks have happened.
Okay. All right. So anything else that you guys want to let people know?
I don't think so.
No, I just want to say thanks for everyone that's supported him and then in turn supported me. I have a lot of people, especially from Vegas and stuff, that I grew up with and grew up around, that reach out to me and kind of know how hard it is to have horses and do all of that thing. And then even on this level, and like he had a horse get hurt and a couple things like that. So I just appreciate everyone's support on of him, and then in turn of me just here at home. So I'm very thankful for everyone that reaches out throughout the year and watches and cheers and supports. We appreciate all of it.
Very good. Well, congratulations to both of you, and good luck in Vegas. Have fun. And if you want to share the video, people can still ask questions after it's done. So, okay. I think we'll probably call it a wrap.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robin.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.